Hello students, welcome back to my class, and now we'll continue with the poem The Tiger, written by William Blake, and this is the part second of this analysis. So till now we have done the first three stanzas of the poem, that is the first stanza which raises the central question of the poem, that is who could have made the tiger. The second stanza refers to the place where the tiger was created. Third stanza, that how did your creator form you. And now we'll be doing the fourth stanza, which shows that what tools were used to form the tiger. So we have the stanza, what the hammer, what the chain, in what furnace was thy brain? What was the anvil, what dread grasp, dared its deadly terrors clasp? Now, in this stanza, actually, the persona or the poet, he is wondering about how this creature, this magnificent creature, was created. What were the tools used by the creator? If we look at the tools, hammer, chain, furnace, anvil, all these things, they refer to blacksmith, लोहार. हैमर, हथौड़ा, चेन, आप जानते हैं चेन्स है, फर्नेस जो लोहार की भट्टी होती है जहाँ पर वो सारा काम होता है लोहे को पकाने का, पिघलाने का, मोल्ड करने का. एंड देन द एनविल. एनविल वो औजार होता है जिस पर रख कर कूटा जाता है किसी भी चीज़ को मोल्ड करने के लिए. सो ऑल दिस एक्चुअली रिफर टू गॉड एज बीइंग अ ब्लैकस्मिथ. जैसे कि कोई लोहार हो, दैट blacksmith, he is creating that animal. तो there is a reference to लोहार. आप देखते हैं कि लोहार और सुनार, ये सुनार बहुत जेंटल काम करता है, ठक 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 करते हैं. जैसे अपने हिंदी में कहावत है, 100 चोट सुनार की, 1 चोट लोहार की. दैट इज द पावरफुल, द पावर इज इन ब्लैकस्मिथ. लोहार में वो लोहार ठाक 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 करता है जोर जोर से, और देन ही मेक्स समथिंग वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग एंड पावरफुल. और सुनार है वो टिक 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 ठक ठक करता है धीरे धीरे, और वो फिर सुंदर चीज़ तो बनाता है, बट दैट थिंग इज़ नॉट वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग. सो हियर देयर इज़ अ रेफरेंस टू ब्लैकस्मिथ. अपन ब्लैकस्मिथ का रेफरेंस इसलिए कर लेते हैं बिकॉज ऑफ द टूल्स विच आर मैंशनड इन दिस स्टैंजा. So he says, and this actually, this blacksmith, there is a reference, or you can say allusion, to Greek mythology. In Greek mythology, Hephaestus is the god of fire, and he is the blacksmith of gods. वो भगवानों का लोहार है, and the one who makes all the weapons, जो उनके weapons बनाता है, सारे औजार बनाता है. So here we can see there's a reference to Hephaestus, and he says maybe this god, whoever this creator or the god is, he must have been as strong as a blacksmith, and he actually created tiger in his workshop. So he says, what the hammer, what the chain, in what furnace was thy brain? What was the anvil? What dread grasp? Grasp is pakad, jakad. Dare its deadly terrors clasp. Now it's a deadly. Deadly is dare its deadly. There is again alliteration. There's lots of alliterations in this poem. This is terrors clasp. Now terrors is fear. So what is the terrors clasp? There is horror in this. Clasp means pakadna. अब ये कैसे उसको पकड़ा होगा, द टाइगर? when you create something, you have to catch hold of that thing. But here he is wondering that whoever the god is, the blacksmith god, that Hephaestus, or any other god, the name of the god is not mentioned, we are just alluding to it, that who must have created this creature. So here he says what were the tools used by the god and where he was created. Then in this stanza there's a reference that when the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears, Did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamb make thee? Now, here, then it says that after God has created, or after the Creator had created this tiger, what was the reaction of the other people, or you can say the angels here, when the stars, because we imagine that this tiger was created by God, and we know that God lives in heaven. And now these stars, when the stars threw down their spears, so he says, was there a protest of creating this ferocious tiger? That till now none other animal was created as ferocious as tiger. And when God created the tiger, were there protests? क्या उसका प्रोटेस्टेशंस हो रहे थे? क्या उसका विरोध हो रहा था कि ऐसा जानवर क्यों बनाया? Here the stars actually, they are metaphor for angels. Did the angels protest? Did the angels cry? Did the angels raise their voice? He says, when the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears. So here it is that what happened? What was the reaction? So in this stanza we see the reaction of the creatures around. Did he smile his work to see? And it says, did the God smile or feel happy to see his work, the creation, that wow, what a wonderful creature I have created? Did he who made the lamb made thee? So now here there's a very intriguing question that the persona is asking the tiger. It is actually a direct address to the tiger. He says, did he who made the lamb make thee? He said, was he the same creator who created the meek and gentle lamb? Now here we see that there is a reference to religious belief of Christians. Now lamb is actually a symbol of Jesus, because Jesus is also referred to as a lamb of God. Jesus is not referred to as God, but he is a son of God or a lamb of God. So he says that there is the duality of the Christian God. Duality of the Christian God in the sense, he says that the God which created the lamb is a very meek and gentle creature. He is very loving, amiable. Did God create? Then he says that Christian God, the person, the creator who had created such a gentle, meek, lovely creature, maybe the God is also like that. But now the same creator is creating the tiger. So he says the lamb explores the duality of the Christian God, because Christian God is punitive. Punitive means punishing, that he punishes for all the wrongs the people do, but he is also forgiving. So there is a comparison or parallel between the creation of lamb and the creation of tiger. These are two opposite creations. One is a symbol of innocence. Lamb is a symbol of innocence. Actually, this poem, this is a reference to the poem which is written by William Blake in his Songs of Experience. Songs of Innocence. Lamb is written in Songs of Innocence, and tiger is written in his Songs of Experience, which came about 5 years later. That is, Lamb was published in 1789 and Tiger was published in 1794. So we can say that the Songs of Innocence were written by the time of French Revolution. The 1789 is also the year of French Revolution. At that time, Blake wrote only about innocence and goodness of nature. But maybe he has experienced so much of evil, so much of cruelty, and so much of violence, that he started writing songs of experience. And because he has experienced life himself through the French Revolution, and these songs of experience were written in 1794. So he says that was he is different to the God. Did he who made the lamb make thee? What type of God, here is lamb, is what type of God is capable of making a meek animal such as the lamb chooses to create an animal as ferocious as tiger? So he is actually wondering, can that same God create both kind of creatures, so meek and gentle and beautiful, and just the opposite creature, tiger, who is very ferocious and majestic and uh, ferocious and majestic, and then the animal which incites fear in you. So he says that in the midst of fire, all these things, like the image of fire is everywhere, and here he says the metaphor for angels, stars, and all that. So he said, were there any protests? So he is wondering, who is wondering, the writer or the poet, he is wondering that who has created it. And in one of the conventional readings of this poem, that it symbolizes Lucifer, the fallen angel. Like when in the beginning of the poem we see that who created, whether he was created in the deeps or the skies. Now Lucifer is also Satan, the evil. He is also he was also Lucifer also used to live in heaven, but he was ousted from it. So he's saying who might have created it. So in the last stanza we see, this is the concluding stanza. It says, tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night, what immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? Now here, dare, because it's the same, the lines are same, the whole quatrain is same, all the four lines are same except for one word. That line says, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry, but here it is, dare frame thy fearful symmetry. Over here, the God that takes risks and plays with fire. Did the God take a risk in creating mankind with free will? Now here actually this tiger can also be referred to as metaphor for human beings, for human. When God, it is believed that God actually ended his creation after creating men, and God created men with free will. That is, men can be as innocent as a lamb, or men can be as ferocious and cruel as a tiger. So this seems to be a metaphor for men. This tiger can be seen as a metaphor for men. Now let's look at the imagery which is found in this poem. It is particularly the metaphor. There is a tiger that is burning, forest of the night, a brain forged in a furnace, anvils, hammers, chains. All these things indicate that this is the creation of a blacksmith or somebody who is very strong. Then these metaphors link with both fire, and fire links with hell, and physical creation as though by a blacksmith. As we have seen in the poem, it seems that this tiger has been created by a blacksmith. And then this fire, and it refers to the fire, and fire is a symbol, or you can say it's a symbol of hell. So he says, is it even about a tiger at all, or is this another metaphor? Now here, is this a creation of the tiger? Is it really mentioning only about the tiger as animal, or maybe this is just a metaphor for mankind? So he says, there is in these metaphors, there is an image of violence, fire, that is, tiger is burning. So it says these metaphors, they link with fire and hell. And then there must be a possible reference to the ancient Greek gods in this poem, as I referred to god Hephaestus, and also and we also referred to Daedalus and Icarus. So these are the references to Greek mythology. Now let's look at the themes of the poem. The themes of the poem is that there is existence of evil in nature. As we know that there are good people and bad people, there is goodness and evil in nature. And then there is also great and deadly power of nature. The nature is beautiful, it's soothing, but it also has deadly power. Like we see, like this is the time of monsoon, and we see the ferocity of the water, what the water is doing. बरसात और पानी कितनी तबाही मचा रहा है. So water is very essential for our lives, but it can also be destructive. So there is a deadly power also in nature. And then there is incapability of human to fully interpret nature. If we read the poem, we find there are questions, questions and questions. There are almost 13-14 questions in the poem, but these questions are not finally answered. That is, we see that we are incapable, that human beings are incapable of fully understanding nature, fully interpreting nature, that nature is incomprehensible. God has created nature, and we can never ever understand the creation of God and how and why God created and what are the things. Like we cannot forecast. हम ऐसा भविष्यवाणी नहीं कर सकते कि अब ये होगा या ऐसा होगा या वैसा होगा. So this is the theme of the poem. So to sum up, we can say that this poem, it is a poem of 24 lines and about 14 questions, and it deals with the idea of creation of tiger as well as the creator, that who is the creator. The poem opens and closes with the same set of lines, and it invokes the fierce power of tiger, the one who was created, and also the creator of that being. So it says that tiger is not just an ordinary animal, but one that is very strong and mysterious, which the speaker or the persona is awestruck by its beauty and immense strength. And this poem is actually, it's a metaphor. Maybe we can take it as a metaphor for humankind, though we are not very sure of it. And actually, if we see that when a poet writes a poem, there is no one fixed meaning to it. There can be many interpretations, and you can also interpret it in any way you like. So, this is all for now, and I hope you've understood the poem. And if you have not understood the poem, please post the questions on the WhatsApp group, and I'll try to answer the questions. Thank you.